This is a video of marble slides. So the first slide says, here's the goal, get all the stars, get to know rationals. Click launch to see what we mean. So when you hit the launch button here, the marble should collect the stars. So I'm gonna have to modify the functions on the next slides. So slide 2 to 16 or so is the lesson, and then the challenge slides. So the reason why I'm making this video is the challenge slides are rather difficult. So take a look at the video to help you. Once you get through 1 to 16, then you should watch this video. All right, slide 2, it says change one of the numbers in the row below to fix the marble slide. So you want the horizontal asymptote to be right here at 3. So if we change this to +3 here, hit the right keys here. So if I make that a +3 and then hit launch, it collects all the stars. So just moving the graph. So the asymptote is y=3. Slide 3 shows you how to reset. Hit the reset button if you need to get the screen back to where it was, or the slide back to where it was. This one here, you want to reflect this graph over the x-axis. So if I make this a negative up here, that reflects the graph over the x-axis. And then hit the launch button there. So it says change the sign of one of the numbers. So if you change the sign in the numerator, it reflects the graph over the x-axis. Slide 5, change one number in the row below to fix the marble slide. So here, you want to move this over. You want to get this part of the graph. So if you just hit the button now, the marble is going to drop straight down. So let me show you what happens if I just hit. So I have to change this restriction on the domain to extend the graph. So see what happens if I make it 11. And so that extends this branch of the graph here. And now when I hit launch, marbles, once they get going there, it should collect all the stars. Change one number in the row below to fix the marble slide. So here you just want to dilate this. So see what happens if we make it like a 10. That's not enough. It won't collect this. It will miss some of those stars. So let's see, what if I make it a 20? So just dilating the graph. That works. So if I hit launch there, collects the stars. So I'm just dilating the graph with respect to x there. And then on slide 7, change one number in the row to fix the marble slide. So I want to move everything over here. So I want to move this branch over to here. So let's make this a x-5 to move the graph to the right. And then hit launch. And that collects the marbles. And if we change the 5 to a 10 here, what will happen? the right branch will be extended. And then on the next slide, they want you to go ahead and do it and see if your prediction is correct. So if I make this a 10, it extends this right branch. What if we change the -2 to a 3? So if I make this +3 here, then that's going to move the graph to the left 5 units. On the next slide, they want you to go ahead and do it. So right here, we make this a +3. The dashed one is the original, and then move the graph 5 units to the left. If we change the 3 to a -2, so y = 3 would be the asymptote. So if we change this -2, it would be y = -2. So it moves the graph down 5 units. And on the next slide, they want you to go ahead and do that. Change this to a -2. So it moves the graph down 5 units. All right, and your friend won't get many stars like this. What changes would you make to the equation to help your friend collect all the stars? Why are those changes going to work? So you need to reflect this over the y-axis. And then make any necessary adjustment. Let's go ahead and do that. So to reflect this over the y, make this negative. Well, that doesn't quite do it. I have to shift this over a little bit. So if I make this a +3, see what happens. There. I have to shift the vertical asymptote. It was at 2. Then if I make it 3, then that works. So here's where the challenges are. So now move on to several final challenges. Try to complete them with only rational equations and as few rational equations as possible. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This one, slide 17. If I started with 1/x, that's almost the shape I want. And then I want to move the asymptote up here to 5. So let's do +5. And then I need to dilate the graph a little bit. So what happens if I make a 5? That's probably too much. About a 4. And if I hit the launch, then it collects all the stars. This one's a little unfair because we want to make that funnel shape like that was on the first slide. So that's a 1 over x squared graph. So let's say y equal 1 over x squared. And that's going the wrong direction, so I want to go negative. And I'm going to make this denominator move it over. Let's see what if I make this squared here. Try that again. Y divided by x minus 4 squared. That moves the chute to where we want it to be. So let's make this a negative. And move this up so the marble will hit in the right place here. So if we move this up to 4, it probably should work. There we go. And we hit the launch. So this one wasn't such a fair question because we didn't study the 1 over x squared graph. I don't know if we'll do it. We'll have time this quarter to study 1 over x squared, but notice that the branches both go in the same direction. The positive one goes this way here, 1 over x squared. Looks like that. All right, so this one, when I looked at it originally, was really confusing. So you need to have make rational functions so the asymptotes, can swing back and forth here. You could ramp down this way and then ramp that way. So let's see what I did here is, so I started with 1 over x, and then I did the negative of that. So now I got to this ramp going like that. And then I want to move this down a little bit. So subtract or move it right a little bit. So subtract a half. And then restrict the domain. All right, so now I need something to catch the marbles coming this way, so they go the other way. So there's 1 over x, and then so I wanted to move this over this way, so let's make it blue so you can see what's going on here. Should be able to hold this down here. And change the color. Oh. I don't know why. Here we go. All right, so now I have the marble coming this way. Then I want to catch it with this graph. Let me move this down a bit. So if I subtract the half here. All right, now let's see if this marble fits underneath the original graph I made. All right, so that works. So that takes a little bit of finessing there. You want to make a graph so it's a ramp, and then another graph that catches the marbles and shoots them the other way. And in this one, you sort of want to have asymptote at y equal 8. So if I do y equal 1 over x plus 8, so I have this is the right asymptote, but I want this piece to start over here. So I want to flip it over the y-axis, so you make this a negative. Now, let's dilate this here. All right, so now I have, if I launch this, it's going to come down here and collect these two. But I want to break this off somewhere so I can make a different rational function that goes down this way. So let's restrict the domain here. X is less than 7. And let's see the other graph I made. So y equals 1 over x minus 6, and then plus 1. Something's wrong there. Let's move this over here. Let's go to did here. So the blue graph is right. This is what I had written down, or what I did for this one. For some reason, it's not working now. I must have copied it down wrong. Oh, that's right there. So I just need to make a gap right here. So I want x is greater than x is greater than 7. I had x is less than 7. That's what the problem was. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that's a big enough gap that I can get through there. Get the marbles going here. All right. All right. And then on slide 21, so what I did there was say move this over here. All right, now I could catch the ball here, but I got to get this star here. So if I do like plus 7.5, and that moves the graph up there. Now I have to break this off here. So let's go for restriction here. X is greater than -12. So this took some trial and error for me to get this, but you don't have to do these slides, but you can take a look at it after you're done with the ones that are not a challenge. Then might want to try some that are. So 1 over x. Let's make this blue. Here. I'm some trouble here changing the color. I'm supposed to hold this down and I don't know why it's not. There we go. All right, so there's 1 over x. And I just want to move this over, so let's do plus 13 here. So that's almost right, but you need to move it up a little bit. So if I add 1.5 there and then hit launch. And that works there. And then slide 22, this one I use 3 different functions. So I had y equals, and then I dilated the graph pretty extreme here. and then wanted to move this up. So now I definitely can get these 2 stars. But have to kind of make a ramp for the marble. So there's my ramp. And hey.
How you doing?
All right, I'm taping right now, so I'll talk to you later. So there's my ramp. And then I made another graph to catch the marble on the other side. There's more than one answer here, but maybe some of you can find less than 3 equations to make. So now this marble is going to ramp here. This rational function will catch the marble and slide it down there. I don't know why this is not launching. Here we go. And slide 23. And I made a reflection over the Y. So it looks like that. So if I do plus 25, that moves that over there because the ball, when I launch it, it's over there. So now I want to, you couldn't see it. I couldn't see it when I first did this, but now I want to move this graph up 8 units. And then I want to cut it off somewhere so I can catch the marble on the other side and get it to go the other way. So I used x is greater than 4. And then to get the graph to go the other way, use 1 over x. And then plus 1.5. There goes the marble, bounce off the other graph. Like the other marbles. Here's the last slide. So what I did there is used big dilation there. And then x is less than 11. And then I need to catch the marbles, the other, and so I can go the other way. I used a big dilation again, almost the same, well, actually the same graph, and then reflected it over the Y. And then moved it up 4. See if that works. Yeah. So I just basically made a ramp and then like a safety net here to catch the marbles.